So make sure you announce what time you're starting the meeting for Dawn, okay?
That's a waste.
You're supposed to hear it could be easier here to prompt the person sitting in that chair.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I am prompting the person who's going to be
Yeah,
sitting in that
right,
chair.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
So, call the meeting to order at 6:39 p.m. The August 1st meeting of the Merrimack Conservation Commission. Start with public comment. No public comment? Okay. We'll move on to appointments. Visit from a new member of the Wildcat Falls Subcommittee. Liz? Come on up.
We have a paper for her to sign.
Oh, yeah.
Should be right there.
Should be right behind you.
Oh yeah, it is.
That's all right, we'll get it for you.
All right. Great. I'll sit then.
Yeah.
And you're all set.
Hello.
Hi, Liz.
Sorry about missing last week, or I guess it was 2 weeks ago. I had
sorry.
that crazy power outage and I work from home, so I had to recover 3 hours of work. So that's why I didn't make it that night. So I thank you for having faith in me, I guess, sight unseen.
Volunteers get a lot of leeway.
Yeah, that's good to know. Do you guys have questions for me? I guess I don't really know what the format is, or.
I guess the reason why we like to meet with you is really to understand what your interests are,
Mhm.
especially in Wildcat Falls.
Yep.
And if there's a way that we can get you exactly what you're looking for there, that's optimal. So if you want to just tell us briefly why you are interested in Wildcat Falls.
Yeah, so I moved to town about 4 years ago, and it was right around the time that I moved to town that I started walking at Wildcat. I explored some of the other trails, so I started walking at Horse Hill and Twin Bridges, and I just found that Wildcat was the best, in my opinion, out of all the trails in town. I go there weekly, sometimes 2-3 times a week with my dog, and it's become familiar to me. I know the trails, I know the people. I don't know the people's names, I know the dogs' names, but I socialize, I get to know people, and I hear things. I know Karen. I joined, or I requested to join, because I'm also on the Michael Laverne Memorial Foundation subcommittee for, the park adoption. We adopted Wildcat Falls. It's just a place that's very near and dear to my heart. I will pick up the trash if I see it on the side. Like, I just love it, and I want to make sure that that experience can be there for everyone. So I'm new to the town side of things. I don't know all what the long-term goals are for the town, but I would like to support them in any way that I can. One thing that I've noticed is that a lot of times there's a lot of stuff on social media, and I've tried to kind of plug that to the subcommittee in the past, and it seems like maybe it's kind of gone to deaf ears. And if that's one way that I can help, I'm more than willing to kind of take on that challenge of really promoting the park in social media or something like that. I know that there's a lot of groups that do meet up through Facebook and kind of connect that way. So if that's how I can help, that's fine. That's one way I think I might be able to. But even if it's just being a liaison between, being there at the park and kind of communicating what the needs of the park are to the subcommittee, because I am there and I see what's going on, I'm fine with that too. So if there's any other way that I can be of assistance, I'm certainly open to it. If there's something I'm not thinking of, just tell me. But I'm very receptive to feedback, and if there's anything that needs to be done, I'm all in.
Great, that's.
I'm in.
Yeah. Well, we already voted her in, so.
You can do it again if you want.
Just affirms our decision, I guess.
So are you familiar with how the structure of subcommittees up to this committee
Yep.
is? Okay,
Generally,
so-
sounds like it goes through Karen-ish. Well, Karen's the chair,
Yep.
Yep.
and then Tim is the liaison.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, I think I kind of do.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I did send her electronically a copy of the charge.
Yep.
Yep.
So she has that
Yep.
as well.
I read it over, so makes sense.
Yeah, so she has an idea of what we're trying to do with the property and what we're asking the subcommittee to help us with, so.
And I know, Tim, you had said the last meeting I attended at Wildcat that there was some documents that are out there regarding Wildcat and the history.
Yeah.
So if you ever have time, if there's digital copies or if not, I'd love to take a look at
Okay,
those.
yep. Yeah, early on when the subcommittee got started a few years ago, I brought them to a subcommittee meeting, but I think I have some of them now electronically, so,
Great, yeah, if you have a moment, send them over. I'd
Yeah.
love to read through them.
okay. Yeah, and it's possible that I can have a folder set aside here that you could come visit and take a look at.
Okay,
Okay,
perfect.
because some of those documents they're one of a kind, so.
I don't know, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I guess I'll ask, and if you don't know, that's fine.
That's fine.
The Michael Laverne
Yes.
Memorial Group, is that what it's?
Foundation.
Foundation.
Yep.
They annually do a project there. Do you know the date?
So right now we're actually not doing a project in the park,
Okay.
but we are doing a meetup. So it's actually slated for August 13th. And what we're going to do is we're just going to walk the park together and just kind of connect with each other and just have a social event. We're going to invite our dogs and our families, and we're going to have a picnic in the park and just kind of walk the trails. The ulterior motive is to look around and see where we would like to put in benches. So the long-term plan is to put in probably 2 regular benches along the trails, and then long-term after that, a memorial bench if possible. So we have ulterior motives, but we want to get our people into the park. Later this fall, we do want to do a park cleanup, and I don't think we have a date set for that yet, but we will be out in the park. I know Tim had discussed the fact that a lot of the branches are kind of low. We may not need to pick up things off the ground, but we might need to look up and start trimming branches back. So, anything that we need to do to help the park, we'll probably wait a little bit longer in the year. Maybe September, we'll start to look at doing a park cleanup of sorts.
Okay.
So I don't know that we'll have benches. I think the plan is to have benches this year. My husband's actually the one that's going to be building them. So hopefully, if all goes well, we actually just had a meeting last week pulling the money together. We got the approval for the funds. So they'll be looking to buy the materials and build them. And then once everything goes through, we'll be out there putting them in if possible.
So along that, Cliff got a hold of me and asked if I had copies of the plans for the benches that were done by James Jolly by the high school.
Yep.
So I reached out to James through an old email address, but I've heard nothing. Now, I do work with James's father, so I could find James Sr., or the other James,
Mm-hmm.
Jim, as I call him, and see if we get the plans that way. But I don't know did you ever get a copy of those plans, or do you know if we got a copy of the Eagle Project package?
I don't think so. I think that went to the town center committee
Okay,
because they were put in through the town center committee. They never came to us.
right. Well, I know we gave some input on how to do things. I know you provided input. so,
Right.
yeah. Okay. All right.
But I think the plans went to town center committee.
Okay. All right. All right.
They don't need the plans. They're both, my husband and Cliff are engineers. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure they can figure it out,
Cliff
but it'd be nice
mentioned
to
that.
have it.
Right. Yeah. So I thought if it was easy to get, that I
Yeah.
would get it. So.
If not, we'll
Yeah.
make do without, but we do want to mirror those benches just for, continuity purposes, so.
Yeah.
And we're happy with those benches, right?
Very.
Yeah.
If I can find a different email address for.
I'll talk to
James.
his dad.
Okay.
Okay. I don't see him every day, but I can make a point of going to see him. So.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. No problem. So I knew this meeting was coming up, so I figured I would wait and ask you. So, and I've only given him 4 or 5 days, so maybe, who knows, right?
Hmm.
So.
Okay,
If you miss connection, let me know, because my daughter and Rebecca are very good friends, so.
Okay.
I can get James's email whenever.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think we'll make it work. So.
Yeah. Either way,
Yeah, without a lot of hardship. So.
no.
Yeah.
So Cliff's all on board. He's working on getting the materials, and whenever my husband's free is when they'll start building or assembling pieces, and then, we'll go from there, so.
Okay.
I'm sorry, just on a side note, where is this funded from? The foundation money, what do
So-
you guys do?
Yeah, so we have a 5K that we do in October, and that's where we generate most of our revenue, but it's also donations. We have a computer clinic that we run. This year we did at the library, and we got some donations from that too. So a couple different areas. I've also amassed some funds through my company from volunteering. So they get a little bit of everything, but the biggest driver is the 5K that we run. It's around the high school, and it's this year will be 5 years this October. So,
Good.
yep. Not nefarious in any way.
No, I just was curious. No, I mean, that's obviously something that the other committees, we don't really do a lot of
Yeah.
fundraising on them, and it's,
Yep, that's fair.
those are good avenues and good suggestions, so.
The 5K is the biggest thing. We found the most success with that. The first year was bigger, but we were kind of learning ways to compete. I think Erica's walk maybe
Yep.
a run. That's a big one. I think we get some competition because we're just not very big at this point, but that's where we get the most of our revenue from.
Cool.
So, yep. What
Great.
else? You guys are quiet over here.
Wow.
Find the conservation.
Yeah.
One step at a time here.
I think we found a new chair.
Good show, yeah.
Got her hooked.
No. I see that. I see that. I will not be pressured. Maybe in 2 years we can talk.
Okay.
So can
Let's
you,
put that in the
write that
let's
down.
put that in the calendar.
so do me a favor and pronounce your last name.
Okay. We say Petrides. You
Okay.
can say that. It's fine. You can say it any way you want, and that's fine. But it's Greek, and my family's not Greek, so we bastardized the pronunciation many, many, many years ago. So, yeah. You can call me Pet Rides if it's easier, because that's how it's spelled. I really don't care. So it's my name in high school. So
I think I'll stick with Liz.
that's
Yeah.
fine too. That's perfectly fine.
So Liz more recently started helping moving some gravel. I took a
I
look at it on
did.
Friday. So that's quite a pile left there we still have to get
Yeah.
to, don't we?
It is, and I will say that I'm not really thrilled with the outcome. I don't know if Karen told you, but we moved gravel. I want to say it was Saturday. We spent like a half an hour, me and Karen. She was out there, and we had our rakes. And then the next day, I think it was the whole point of the gravel was to try to help prevent dogs from defecating right there. And then I walked up, and there's right there, right in front of the kiosk. So it was a little disappointing to see, and I know one of the initiatives of the Wildcat Falls subcommittee is to put in like a container for dog bags. So I'm hoping that is more successful than the gravel, because right off the bat it was
Yeah.
within a day. And I haven't seen it again since, but there is a lot more gravel to be spread.
Yeah.
We'll get it done.
Yeah, I figured when the weather's a little easier. So.
It's been pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still been out there, but let me tell you, I've got no energy to move 50 tons of gravel.
Yeah, I saw it too, and I said, I'm not bringing my tools back.
No.
Yeah.
Nope. I see it every time I go, and I'm like, that needs to get done. But not this day.
So, just one other note. I did see the Public Works folks were cleaning beaver debris out of the infiltration pond that's out there. So I mentioned to them that if they go back and talk to Lori about and have any suggestions on how we can prevent that buildup, to let us know. So, because they pretty much just throw it out, and who knows, it probably ends up back in. So, yeah. So.
You looking for?
Oh, well. So I asked Liz to come while I was chair, only because I thought it'd be good for all of us to meet, because we normally do. I did have the pleasure of meeting her a couple of times, once on the trails and then once in a meeting, and I certainly found her to be very competent and very helpful. But you have the right attitude.
All
so
right.
That's all that matters, is attitude in this show. Even at our level, if you get the right attitude, that's all that matters. So.
Yeah, I figured I'd been living here in town long enough. You know, we bought a house, so I'm permanent now.
Yeah.
And I have been invited to join Rotary. I've been invited to do this, and I just don't have time to do any of that. So this is like one way. I'm there anyway. I can do meetings and I can help out there. So if that's the one small way I can help give back to the town at this point, then that's what I'll do. Don't ask me for this yet, though.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. No, thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity, and I look forward to whatever I can bring to the table. I'll bring it. So thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay. Who do I give this to? You?
You just leave it
I can
there.
just stay right
Leave
there.
it?
Yep.
All right. You guys mind if I head back?
No,
No.
go right ahead.
It's okay, yeah.
I know you have very exciting things to say.
Yes, we do.
Have a good night.
Right. Yeah, we'll see
Thank
you.
you. All right, next, the first and only item on our statutory advisory business is election of chairperson. Do we have any nominations?
Sure.
I nominate Gage. Oops. Nominate Gage Perry.
Second.
mean-
I'll second it. You second it.
So we have a nomination by Cindy, seconded by Mike. Any discussion? Are you interested?
It's called delegation, just remember that, right? Yeah, I'll accept.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gage.
And
Look how
vote.
happy Matt is.
Before there's any further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Am I supposed to vote or no?
You can if you like, it's up to you.
Yeah.
I'll volunteer for
Make it
myself.
unanimous.
Unanimous. 6-0-0. Thank you, Gage.
Thank you, Gage.
Thanks, Gage.
Thank you.
Does this mean you
Appreciate
guys
that.
You want
swap
the seat?
now?
Yeah, really.
Well, that was great. That was quick.
That was quick.
Well, I guess I'll finish out this one. New business, the annual inspection and walk of the Wasserman Conservation Property. I think,
I think it's been done.
yeah, I think I walked every inch of the trails last weekend with NRPC.
Okay.
All right.
There were occasions also where we went off the trails to mark significant landmarks.
All right.
What do you call significant landmarks?
Stone walls, a Jeep in the woods.
I wasn't, is that on our property or
It is
Wasserman?
on our property, yes.
But not the Wasserman property, right?
Correct, it's on the Green
Okay,
Pond
right.
parcel. In fact, the trail around that Jeep is called the Willie's Trail, because it's actually a Willie's Jeep.
Wow.
Oh.
That's great.
And there are a couple of significant or large vernal pools. We marked those as well. So we did a very extensive walk of both the Wasserman and the Greens Pond parcel.
Mm-hmm.
Did they have any water left in them?
Yeah,
Really? That's just kind of dry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
the stream barely had any
Yeah.
water in it, but
Yeah.
there's one very large vernal pool, very deep vernal pool that was still wet.
And maybe it's fed from underneath them. Might be down, it might be down to the water table, so.
Mm.
So, to complete the Elsip stuff, we have to fill out a form, and we have to indicate what we did, where we walked and all that, similar to, I think you and I have done the last couple of years. So, if you're willing to help put together the info for the form, I can certainly copy and paste it in and do all that logistics stuff.
Great.
Did you happen to get a chance to get over near the, where the property where the trees had fallen the wrong way? Later on our agenda, we've been talking about the encroachment into the Wasserman Conservation Area. Did you get a chance to get over there and see if that's progressed at all? Because I didn't get a chance to follow up in town, so,
We walked close to it, but not.
okay,
I don't even think my eyes were in that direction.
yeah,
We
okay,
were looking at other things when
Right.
we were over there.
okay. Because I know when we submit our report, Steve Walker is going to want to know about it since he's the one who raised the flag.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the one who's going to receive the report, so I think we might,
Have to include a special little.
have to include, we're going to have to include a blurb on that, whether it's it should be in the report, because he's already tagged it, it's already in the file. So, if you want, one of us can go out and do that, follow up. I mean, even if the follow-up says the town is still working it, that would be fine, so. I guess if you're willing to put the other stuff together, I'm willing to do that. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Okay.
great. And then we
Alright.
can get together and fill out the form.
Yeah, so basically you need to kind of recount what you did in a few words, very factual. It doesn't have to, you don't have to get into a whole lot of detail, but what you observed, where you went on the property. And we can use the GPS data as a, because Steve will be really excited to hear that we've mapped the trails and stuff like that, so.
Yeah.
We don't have that GPS data yet, though.
I could get
Yeah,
it.
yeah, we
Yeah.
could get it,
He's-
preliminary data,
He's
right?
supposed to have it
Right.
by now.
Yeah.
So,
Because if I can get that data as a GPX file, I can overlay it on top of the outline that we've been using as our template, and therefore Steve can see exactly where it was walked and what went on, so. As well as when we went outside the property, because he acknowledges that we have another property next to it that we're also starting to manage, so. So, and that's fine to have the extra data, it's not a big deal, so. All right.
Is that the format you prefer to work with GPX?
Well, it works easy for me because of the way that they have everything set up, yeah. They may not have converted to GPX, right? I'll get a hold of NRPC and get the data.
I seem to have a lot of stuff coming in and out of KLM.
KLM, yeah.
So I just didn't know if there's a difference.
Yeah, let me coordinate that. So Matt, all I need you to do is put together a paragraph about what you did and
okay.
what you observed, okay?
Great.
All right? And I will, I'll send you the last report, so that way you can get an idea of what we've been reporting, okay?
During the walk and mapping, we wanted to be as detailed as possible, so we also walked the fitness loop and GPS'd every station
Cool.
along it and the function of that station.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
So I thought that was a very good add, because there are a couple of them that could use repair,
Mm-hmm.
and we marked which ones those were. So maybe that's something that we can do now that it's on an inventory. And
Yep.
I almost feel like since we did it, we almost
Should.
Yeah.
So, did the state contribute funds to the Wasserman property purchase? Is that why this is required?
Yeah, so the history of this is when the Wassermans offered the entire property, 2 parcels, what's now the conservation side and what's the park side, to the town at a reduced price in 91 or 92 or something like that. And the town sought out funds from the state. At the time, the program was called Elsip, LCIP. Land chain or land,
use.
no, land community investment program. When you got the money, you also agreed to do annual inspections, and you agreed to certain restrictions on the property, which the Wassermans wanted it anyway. So the town accepted the monies. We also paid a portion of our own monies, and the conservation side, 80 acres, was set aside with those restrictions. They're deeded, because the deeds reference the covenants that are part of all this. And the town also took ownership of the park side, which has some of the restrictions, but not many. And so every year, the town has been on the hook to do it, and the Conservation Commission, with Eber and Walt,
Yep.
begins with a W, agreed to do the inspections, and Eber did many of the inspections for years and years. So, in fact, I got some of his old reports, and we have some of them downstairs as well. So, and Steve can produce them all. Steve Walker up at the state. So.
Do they still have a program like that in the state?
So the nearest thing to it is called Elsip,
Oh, yeah.
which is Land
Right.
Community Heritage Investment something or other. So some people have been opposed to the project because it comes with strings, but it's been a great way for the state to preserve lots of different things around, as long as people were willing to do that. It's grant money, basically, so.
I mean, the strings are not really much.
They're not,
It's like, conserve the property and give us a report once a year.
right. They want to make sure you're watching it,
Right.
managing it, looking
Mhm.
for encroachments, looking for bad things happening, that sort of stuff, so.
And it helps to have it if someone wants to put a gas pipeline through,
Right.
correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any covenants, any deed restrictions or restrictions, that's it.
So.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So number 2 on new business is a proposed change to the shoreland rules. Tracy's sales letter.
Yeah, so that came to me, and it was just a request through the New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions to see if we wanted to weigh in. Didn't know if anyone felt that this was something that they had an interest in, so I threw it out on our agenda and said, here. So, I mean, our answer could be that we choose not to comment or do anything. So, or you could do it as an individual member, an individual citizen as well. So.
I didn't really find it to be very informative.
Mm.
I mean, it's kind of, it's just chunky to read. It doesn't really say much.
Right.
So I'm a little hesitant to say I want to make any kind of comment at all.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to respond to this?
Nope.
Just
Just wanted to make sure that we all were aware, and if this was someone's hot button,
Yeah, it's not very,
well,
I
it
think
is
if
more on the web, so.
If anything, we should reach out to George May and see what he feels about this. He would probably be much more informed than we are about
the very first one is
his.
it's communications to the LAC. So I mean that's kind of right. You know, the river and the lakes.
Advisory committees.
Yeah.
You want me to forward the letter to George just to make sure he's aware in case he's not?
Probably should.
Sure.
That'd be worthwhile.
Right.
So maybe more on this next meeting.
Well, I don't have any comments to make to this. I don't know if anyone else does. And if George wants to make comments, that's not gonna be through us.
Right.
So, I don't, unless someone's got something to,
I think it's done.
so I think we could say it's closed.
Okay.
We need to add things to our agenda.
All right, so number 3 on new business, moose plate grants.
So,
Any ideas on what people might want to do for a moose grant?
Has anyone looked into what passes?
and what qualifies for, and how much
Just-
money
Just
can you
about
get?
anything.
yeah, a lot does. Now, they want a lot of information with an application. I don't know if you had a chance to go through examples and all that. And we're only talking about, 5 weeks away.
Yeah. But,
So,
you know, they have protection of, land conservation, water conservation, any, like the plunge pool, that plunge pool that we're talking about putting in for the boat ramp. I don't think that's gonna be an issue for funding it, but I'm saying if that was something we're trying to fund, I mean, that would have been, oh yeah, right up their alley.
Yeah.
So it's, not Conservancy's buying property, I mean, it's really not, doesn't seem to be a very strict set of guidelines there. It's a pretty broad program.
yeah.
$270,000, something like that?
Could we use
That's
it,
the pool of money?
Yeah.
could we use it for any of the gates that we've been buying?
Not gates.
no.
Usually they like wetland protection.
Oh, okay.
Did you read some of those?
There was one
Did you read
with
some of those projects?
there was one with invasive species
Yeah,
that I
I mean,
saw, or even just purchasing land.
yeah,
seemed
that's what's like straight out purchasing land.
purchasing.
It really seemed pretty broad.
But I didn't see any that were higher than like 20 grand,
Yeah, it all
maybe.
seemed to be like 10 to 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing that caught my eye was the redo of the Woods Road
Yeah.
for Greater Woods. You know,
Oh, yeah.
that, as opposed to trying to do it through an ARM fund grant, they could try and do it through this. But we just don't have the engineering done on it, and I wasn't sure how formal the project has to be in order to make it. So So I kind of threw this out here because this happens every year. We may want to put grants as something we want to be looking at, especially if someone has some time to be looking at what are the grant opportunities, the major ones, and what are their deadlines, and then we could create a setback schedule for any of them that we want. And if we give ourselves enough time, like 4 or 5 months or 6 months, we could actually work it and meet it and leverage our dollars with someone else's dollars. Of course, you have to look at the strings and all that other stuff, but I mean, this comes with really nothing for strings, so this
You
is,
just have to hang the plaque next to whatever you do.
so this is, I mean, this is a really ideal way to get some money, so, because it could offset, a third of the cost. So,
So something we should get down to the subcoms too.
yeah.
This stuff's available.
Yeah, so I don't know if anyone has time at all to work with the New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions and get a feel for when grants become available and what they are. You could kind of put that data together. Granted, we won't do anything for this grant, but we should know when the ARM grants are done and all that, and it's kind of work it into our schedule.
I could look into that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Because I know every year at the New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commission's annual meeting, there's usually at least one session on grant writing,
Oh, yeah.
right? How to write a grant or, successful grants, and maybe that's a session one of us should sign up for, so. So that's the first Saturday in November, by the way, if anyone wants to put it in their calendars. I don't know where it's gonna be, but it's always the first Saturday in November, and it's again this year. I was asked to speak at it this year, like last year,
Oh,
do another beginner course.
oh, good.
you know.
That's good.
That's really all I had here, kind of just to highlight it and say we haven't really been leveraging our money, and maybe we should be thinking about it. So, because it's not gonna, we're never gonna see a fund balance like we saw,
Yeah.
a year ago. I don't see that coming back, so.
Other business, I guess we can pick these off one by one.
So
Do you have the update on Jeff?
Jeff sent an email to say that he's busy working. I think I kind of spoke to this at our last meeting, maybe. There's nothing new, but he's been busy doing his thing, so I think all goodness is going on there. And then I know you've been working the trail mapping stuff, Matt. Engage, yeah.
I wasn't able to go.
Yeah, we fully completed Wasserman,
Great.
and planning on starting Horse Hill next, possibly this weekend.
Oh, okay. Are you able to do that? Because I know we could try to find someone else too. It's up to you, of course.
I think it's just making sure that it's somebody that knows what is and what isn't a trail
Mm-hmm. So,
is the important part.
are you comfortable doing it?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. I don't want to take your I know you like getting in the woods, so.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. All right.
be glad to do it.
Yeah.
I think it's just making sure that he has the weekend
Yeah.
to do it. With Horse Hill is Old Blood Road something that we'd want to get on that?
Yeah, that brings up a good question. Because it's not a trail per se, but it is a feature of the property.
And you talk about connectivity that goes right up through Greater Woods.
Yeah, I was confused there for a minute. There's an Old Blood Road goes to Horse Hill.
Did
Sorry,
I say
you meant Old
Old
Kings
Kings
Highway.
Old Kings Highway? Did I say?
Kings
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
All right,
Wow.
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah, Old Kings Highway. Sorry.
So that is maintained, you might say. I mean, we're supposed to maintain it. It's a town road, it's an emergency lane declared, and it is a Class 6 road, which means it's not maintained, but because it's an emergency lane, it is maintained. Am I talking out of both sides of my mouth now? I don't see any reason not to put it on there because it's a feature.
Mhm.
The downside is if someone's going to think it's a trail, we can go walk it and go whatever. But
Well, you consider the fact that was it 2010, the town bought property to preserve Old Kings Highway. So, I mean, we were actively as a town trying to preserve it.
Yeah.
So I would think that,
Yeah, I think it'd be great to
Yeah.
highlight that in the history.
Okay.
yeah, where the gates are should be marked.
I have some information on the trail, so I can. Which I think you gave it to me? Is it you?
I think I know I gave you some stuff on it. So
Something I should look at before we go walk it, and I show him with the map then.
Goes right up through the neighborhood. You know, Kramer Hill and up that whole area. So.
yeah, well, we're only going to map what's in Horse Hill.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
Yep.
great. I just wanted to make sure that's something that we wanted to include.
and you're going to include all the bridges.
Bridges, wells.
Yep.
Foundation.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Horse Hill is likely going to take a long time because of the features that are there.
Yep.
And signposts, we'll probably have to mark each signpost.
Yep.
And kiosk.
Right. Yeah. There's a few kiosks involved. Yeah.
Was Washman longer than you thought it was going to be?
Maybe
Longer?
a little bit. The device, even though it's much smaller than the one that I took through the woods, it still takes a lot of input
Right.
to type something in, and especially if you're spelling out trail names and things like that. It's labor intense.
Yeah. But not like holding that big ray dome.
Yeah, I know. For nothing.
Made me laugh.
But I think we got a really good product. I can't wait to see it. But I've seen other things that they've done after they've done the cleanup, and I mean, I'm anxious to see it. I was expecting to see it at the end of last week, but hopefully this week we get something.
I know Sarah's very excited to do the project. So
Yeah, other towns have them working right, with them as well. Some of the other commissions have several folks on the commissions that are retired, so they're walking during the week.
yeah.
So we're kind of like the weekend project for them. So
It's the way it is.
just
Right.
the way it is, yeah,
Right.
exactly. So all right, I'll keep you updated on when I schedule to go Horse Hill.
Okay, so I have nothing on the next two items.
And I've got nothing on that last one either. And as a Bush, been a couple emails out and have not had a response. So.
Deborah Huffman was supposed to have them out in
That's the
Horse
thing,
Hill,
I think she had it. I saw an email something that she had someone coming out to do some stuff. So.
but they canceled because the day that they had it scheduled was like 94 degrees.
That's a different group. That's not this one.
Yeah, that's
It's
the
not-
Levi.
That's the Levi folks up at the
Yeah.
outlets.
Oh, jeez.
So,
Okay.
do we know what Anheuser-Busch, like, what's the scope of what they want?
No, that was what my emails out to her. It's like, great, thank you for the volunteer. What kind of, I'd like to get together and just find out what are you looking to try to do? I mean, what is this going to be? Is this like a one-time thing? Are you trying to find some reoccurring project? And what are you looking to do? So, until we can get together, it's going to be a little bit up in the air. So, I'm just going to keep plugging away. I mean, I'm sure everyone is, half people are on vacation right now and gone back, so I'm sure emails are emailable. I know when I don't check my email for a couple of days, it's full. So.
Okay. With the website, I had an email exchange with Wendy. They were taking some personal time, but she has a number of things that she's putting together, and she wants to run some things by me early this month. So that way we can schedule it and have an agenda item, and we can actually look at some of the ideas and thoughts that she has to help guide her in the right direction. So she figured she probably wouldn't have it ready for this meeting, so therefore I didn't make it a formal agenda item.
Okay.
But I might be getting a hold of you later this week, and we can make it a real agenda item. So she said she also had a discussion with Sarah at NRPC, the folks doing our maps. And apparently her and Sarah were talking about having a common look and feel between the website and the maps, and make sure that they kind of look like they work together and all that. So she wanted to toss around some ideas with Sarah as well, so not to add a whole lot to either one of the projects, but just to try and make sure that it looked like we were in sync. And since they work together on other things, I thought, yeah, go right ahead. She said, though, but to get that common look and stuff, she said there might be a slightly different expense on one side or the other. And I said, well, let me know, put it together, and we'll look at it.
Right.
So, because, yeah, I think we'd all like to have a professional product, so, right? If we're going to go this far with it, so more to come. So I did have a couple of other things pop up over the time. Since most people still write to me as the chair, so I can fix that now. One item, I had an email exchange back in January with a party that wants to have a wedding at the Overlook, the new one off of BB Lane. They were just confirming that the weekend late in September is still good. And they were asking if they could put up some temporary decorations, no nails or screws, but stuff that they could decorate that overlook, in order to have their ceremony and stuff out there. I didn't see any issues with that. They're aware of what it looks like. Party lives right in the area, so they've been out there multiple times. So, but just wanted to make sure that it was okay and that we weren't planning a trail day or some other event. They're also aware that people could walk up while they're doing their thing, and they know that. So they said, we're okay if an occasional mountain biker comes by or whatever. It won't take very long anyways.
September 22nd, wasn't it?
Or 24th or something, whatever. Does anyone have a calendar, Andy? Here, actually, I should just bring up
So the only part of that,
24th is Saturday.
yeah, so that would be it. Yeah. Go ahead.
the only part of that email that kind of got my interest was he was talking about, bringing them from his house, like
Right.
a walking trail from there to the deck. And then at the end, he kind of just threw in something about maybe,
Leaf
would it be
blower.
okay to leave it? Oh, yeah, then after that, about making it keeping it a trail, like he kind of, as long as he puts the trail back the way it was.
Yeah, I don't think leaf blowing is a good idea, because then you're going to have people ending up in the backyard.
Right, yeah. That was my concern.
Because the most beaten-in trail, or the most obvious trail, oftentimes is what people use. They don't follow the blazes, on a left-hand turn if a right-hand turn is leaf blown.
Yeah.
So I would just kind of discourage the leaf blowing.
Okay. Well, I'll respond and you'll all see it, so, okay. All right. So that's that item. Also, on Friday, I did drive by Brookside Drive, 10 Brookside Drive, where we did the herbicide treatment. Ann spoke to, I think it's Christina, the young lady that lives next door to that. I took a number of pictures. I was hoping to get them on my computer. I didn't. They're only on my phone.
Is it back?
Actually, no. So I would say that we were 90 to 95% successful in stopping that. There are a few. There's some little ones, and there's some odds and end pieces that probably should be cleaned up. But quite a bit. We were pretty successful this time. There's a lot of dead cane out there. It looks like dead bamboo sitting out there. It's kind of brown. It's kind of a little unsightly, but
Yeah, it's not pretty.
It probably helps that it's been dry, too. this
Right.
year.
so the other part is that there's been some more lawn clippings being
Oh.
deposited.
Oh, that same spot?
In the same, yeah, so people are still using it to drop stuff, material. I did speak to one of the other neighbors across the street, and he told me that it's not him. So, and then another neighbor corroborated his story.
Yeah, it wasn't him.
Yeah.
So I was told that it's not hard to figure out who it is if we really wanted to know. Okay? So I didn't do the investigation at this point, but it's a huge dumping ground. There's stuff in there. What I was thinking of doing was engaging with wastewater, because they have a storm drain system in there. And right now it's got trees all falling down inside of it and everything else. And I'm going to say to them, by the way, guys, this, if this thing continues to get blocked up, you're going to have problems with your stormwater system. What do you want to do about it? Okay? Because we don't technically own it, we manage it. Okay? Because it was set aside because it's a wetland, but it's also a stormwater system, which today they would never do. And today they would be catch basins, there would be infiltration systems and all that. Right now, the pipe system just lets it dump. So,
Yep.
so unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. So, so the one thing though that got Christina is that on our property there's a couple of large, tall is probably better than large, tall trees that have been dead for a long time. With a previous windstorm that we had a couple of weeks ago, one of them had one of its main trunks break off and hit her railing in her property and damaged her deck railing and landed in her backyard, which she moved it on. She threw it back over onto our own property, but she's concerned that
The other one, it's not far behind.
right, and the tree next to that one is also a potential problem because they are so dead and dry that they will snap off and break. She said there's a much smaller one that the birds use, and she has no issue with that one. She kind of likes it because it brings the wildlife around. She said if these could just be trimmed down to where they wouldn't damage her property if they broke, she would be happy with that. She asked if she could take care of them. I said that's probably not something that we're going to be able to let you do because of the town, for liability reasons and all that. She understood, so I'm thinking we need to have someone take a look at that.
Did she contact you?
No, I was down near there and I said, darn, I have been wanting to go take a look. Let me go take a look. Because this was the right time of year. We did it in August last year.
Is that something we just call PWD about and see if they can take those down? And
Yeah, I figured I would,
start with Lori?
just ask some questions and see if we could do it, so. Because the ideal way for them to get there would be to go across her property, or at least drop down near her property to do it. I mean, they can get around because it's so dry right now. So right now is probably one of the best times to do it, so. But yeah, something needs to be done, or else she's got a railing that was completely knocked off. So she says, well, now I know how it was put together because it got dislodged. So, they wouldn't build them that way anymore, or it was nailed, not screwed, that kind of deal. So, but yeah, I just wanted to update you all and let you know that we were pretty successful. I think though that as we know, this is a long-term commitment, so we're probably going to have to go back out and get it done. But I think the most urgent part is taking care of the trees. So
Can I add on to that
Yeah.
a little bit? I actually got an email from Amy on Friday that there was a tree in Horse Hill that a limb had fallen, but it didn't damage the homeowner's property, but they were concerned. So Newt went and looked at it over the weekend and said, yeah, it's an issue, so he was going to speak with Lori. So there's more than one tree that...
There's a maple across, red maple, big maple tree right across. Probably from the last storm, too. I'm sorry, but
No.
you just reminded me of that.
Oh, okay. So there's...
where?
Pretty much midway, halfway through the trail, like just if you're going
Is it from the
counterclockwise, just beyond Conservation Drive. So if you're going clockwise, it'd be before it. It's a pretty big one, totally blocking the trail.
Is it blocking access to the drainage structures that are down there, or is it past those?
The drainage structures, you mean the culvert going under the road?
Yeah, so coming off of
We
the
closed
end,
the hill going down.
Yeah, I don't think it's interfering with that.
Okay,
So,
'cause
so it's between where that road comes down and like Eagle Trail?
It's, no, it's on the deck side if I remember right.
Oh, okay. So
I've only walked it once and seen it once a day or two ago.
So it's
Yeah.
behind the houses.
Yeah, it's beyond the houses.
Okay.
on the road that was improved.
It's right across it.
Yeah, can't miss it. Yes.
It's like you gotta go around it or through it, or it's got branches. It's about that big.
Okay, I'll take care of it.
okay.
Minutes? June 20th.
Yes, motion to approve the June 20th minutes with changes.
Second.
Moved by Cindy, seconded by Gina.
Don't have very many. On page 9. Oh, sorry, trying to read my own notes. Page 9, row 33. I think just need would be needed. And on page 10, row 7, just to add an A, raised A comment at the end of that sentence. And then page 11, row 25, Commissioner Perry, eventually, there, I just think there needs to be something in there, maybe stated that, eventually.
Yeah.
Remarks stated something.
Yeah. Guess I had more than I thought. Page 12, row 53. I think, is that with the majority of which were a few inches in width instead of height?
Yeah, I circle that one too.
So that, okay. Yeah, that'd be width. And that's all I have.
And I have a few too. On page 1, line 58, Mr. Collette stated the biggest should be issues, so take the D off of issued. On page 8, line 15, grass area and 3 or 4 yew bushes. Right now it's the letter U. It should be YEW.
So I looked that up,
Did you?
and there's yew bushes.
There are yew bushes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
wow.
I was like, I can't be yew. It can't be
I
yew
know.
bushes. It's gotta
Yeah,
be
My
I know what it
apologies
was
then.
either.
I didn't realize
yeah,
that.
I was like, yeah, I'm looking up yew bushes, and of course you get, George Bush and University of Minnesota, but eventually I found there's yew bushes.
Okay.
Wow.
So I'm not. I was hesitant to say they're yew bushes or yew bushes. I don't know.
Okay.
This guy's kind of a gardener, so I was like, oh, I'm just gonna leave it be. I don't know. So
Okay.
we may need to.
So you leave it be.
Yeah, just leave it be. I think.
Okay. I'm not sure if on line, same page, which is page 8, on line 21, that leads to an area that has always ponded. Is that right? Ponded is right? Okay.
Probably not technically a real
Yeah.
verb, but
Okay. On page 10, line 23, Chairman Tenhave stated his appreciation for the quick reaction, Mr. Should it be Rivet, not River? Oh, on page 14, engaged can confirm this, page 14, line 47, seen 3 trees that had, should it be burls removed from them instead of burrows removed from them?
It's burls, yeah.
Burls, B-U-R-L-S?
Yes,
Okay.
or R-L-E-S, yeah, something like that.
And that is all I have.
I have just a couple left, I think, then. Well, I just had a question, page 1, line 47, towards the end. Looking for ways to keep improving water quality access of the lake to the public. Don't know if that's exactly what he said, but I'm not really sure I understand what we're trying to say there. So I think we may have water quality and water quality and access to the lake.
For the public?
For the public or something. I think it's probably what's supposed to be.
I had circled that too, and I think what they're trying to say, because then I read down a little bit, and they were talking about the water quality data.
Right.
So I'm wondering if that's what they're talking to, is that the access of the water quality data is what
Water
they
quality
want to provide to the
in
public.
the lake. Looking for ways to keep improving water quality.
So maybe what you need to do is,
Improving water quality.
Data access.
The access of the water quality data to the public, is that what you think it means?
and looking for ways to keep improving water quality data access
access.
of the lake to the public.
Okay.
So just include
Yep.
data between water, where are we, between quality and access.
Thank you. Page 2, line 27. There are a few problem areas. I think that problems probably needs to get deleted. Page 3, line 16. 1 is scheduled for July, not scheduled for July. And I think we got all the rest of them.
Just have one to add to all those. Page 9, line 33. As the space upstairs was not should be needed.
Didn't you already get that one?
Mm.
Okay.
533, yep.
Was that already mentioned?
Yep.
Ah, forget it.
That's it. That was the first one, so that was a while ago. I know. I did that one.
I'm trying to keep track of the marks.
I know,
which
yeah.
ones
Short-term memory's first to go, Mike.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That carries 600. All right, minutes of July 18th.
Motion to accept the Merrimack Conservation Commission meeting minutes of July 18th with changes.
Second.
Motion by Gina, second by Cindy. Take it away.
Oh, let's see what I have on this one. This one I didn't have as many. I have on page 9, line 40, of the Greater Woods Subcommittee with, put a T in front of ERMS for the word terms. That's all I had.
I had a couple on page 3, line 10. I think infiltration should just be singular.
Oh, yep.
Take out the S. And then on line 26, I'm thinking we should take that comma out from where Road A comes into the property. And, yep, Gina got that one. That's all I have.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed and abstentions. That one's 501
With
with Matt
abstaining.
abstaining.
There you go.
Sorry about the third person. I just figured it was the easiest way to let her know. Okay. Public comment? No public left. Commissioner comments. Gina?
I have nothing to add. I am good.
No comments?
Cindy?
I'm good.
Gage?
Set.
Actually, I do have something to add. You did a wonderful job chairing this meeting.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And look at the time.
Time. Alright, I have nothing, so if we adjourn now, we're exactly at,
No, we don't adjourning.
oh,
We don't follow, you gotta follow the, okay? So at this point, we need to take a roll call vote, and we need to state the entire agenda item. So to help you along, I move per RSA 91-A:3, Roman numeral 2D, consideration of the acquisition, sale, or lease of real or personal property which, if discussed in public, would likely benefit a party or parties whose interests are adverse to those of the general community, along with a review of the non-public minutes of June 20th, 2016. So that was moved to go to non-public session.
Second.
So it's a roll call vote.
so
It's okay.
Cindy, how do you vote?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Gage?
Yes.
Gina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
I also vote yes.
So now we're in non-public at 7:40.
40.